Welcome to the Teaching Autism and Special Education Community Podcast. Hi, I'm Nikki, a passionate special educator, autism advocate, resource creator with over a decade of experience, and you may know me as the face behind Teaching Autism. This podcast is your go-to place for practical tips, hands-on strategies, and inspiring and funny stories to support special educators all around the world, whether it's building independence, creating engaging lessons, or finding that elusive work-life balance. I'm here to help you thrive inside and outside of the classroom. Let's dive into today's episode and make a difference together. Hey there, and welcome back to the Teaching Autism podcast. Today we're diving into one of my absolute favourite topics, special interests and why they should be celebrated and not suppressed. If you've ever worked with autistic students, or if you're autistic yourself, you know that special interests are so much more than hobbies. They're a source of joy, learning, and self-regulation. Unfortunately, too often these special interests are dismissed as distractions, obsessions, or something that needs to be toned down. But here's the thing, special interests are powerful. They're a doorway to connection, motivation, and sometimes even future careers. So today we're going to talk about what special interests are, why they matter, how us as educators and caregivers can use them to build connection and engagement, and some success stories of autistic individuals whose special interests have led to incredible careers and passions. So let's get into it. First up, what are special interests and why do they matter? Special interests are deep, intense fascinations with a specific topic, activity, or object. They're not just casual interests. They can be lifelong passions that bring comfort and joy and focus. So picture this. There's an autistic child named Max who loves trains. He knows everything about different models. He can name train stations across the country, and he could talk about them for hours and hours on end. Now, in a traditional classroom, Max might be told, let's talk about something else, or you need to focus on the lesson. But what if instead of shutting down that passion, we used it as a tool for engagement? So here's the thing. Why do special interests matter? They provide a sense of comfort and joy. Special interests often help to regulate emotions and reduce anxiety. They enhance learning, especially when connected to academics. Special interests can increase motivation and focus on subjects that might otherwise be difficult or boring. They foster connection. When you talk about shared interests, you help to build relationships and social confidence, and they can even lead to careers. Many autistic individuals have turned their special interests into professional paths. So instead of seeing special interests as a distraction, we need to embrace them as a strength. So how can we, as educators and caregivers, use special interests to build connection? How do we shift from seeing these as a barrier to using them as a bridge? Well, here's 4 quick practical strategies. Number 1, incorporate special interests into learning. If a student loves dinosaurs, use dinosaur-themed math problems or history lessons. If they love video games, introduce coding or storytelling based on their favorite game. You can also use special interests for social connections. Instead of shutting down a child who talks about their favorite topic, use it as a conversation starter. Encourage peer connections by finding others with similar interests. Validate and encourage passion. Show genuine excitement when a student shares their special interest. Give them space to explore and express their interest without judgment. And finally, provide opportunities for growth. Find clubs and competitions and activities related to their passion. Connect them with mentors or professionals who share the same interests, because when we validate and encourage special interests, we help autistic individuals to feel seen and valued and understood. There are also a bunch of success stories of when special interests can lead to big things. There are so many incredible stories online, but let's have a look at just a few today. So you may know Dr. Temple Grandin. As a child, Temple was fascinated by livestock and farming equipment. Today, she's a world-renowned expert in animal science and has revolutionized the cattle industry. Greta Thunberg, her passion for climate activism has made her a leading voice in global environmental movements. Dan Aykroyd, the famous actor and comedian known for Ghostbusters, has openly discussed his autism and his special interest in law enforcement and the paranormal. And beyond these well-known figures, there are countless everyday success stories, engineers who grew up obsessed with building, teachers who loved organizing information, artists who spent childhoods drawing the same subjects over and over. So the next time someone tells an autistic child to tone down their special interest, think about how those same interests could shape their future. Because at the end of the day, special interests aren't just a quirky trait, they're a source of joy, connection, and possibility. So whether you're an educator, caregiver, or autistic yourself, let's shift our mindset. Instead of seeing these passions as something to suppress, let's nurture them, celebrate them, and use them to create meaningful learning experiences. I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the special interests you've seen in your students, children, or even yourself? Have you found ways to use them as a tool for learning and connection? Let's chat. Come find me on social media. Let's keep the conversation going. And if you're looking for free resources to incorporate special interests into learning, check out my free resource library. I'll link it in the show notes. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, let's keep celebrating what makes each of us unique.